And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
so
fair.
You're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Name?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something
All
funny
right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Happy, fantastic, freaky Friday to all y'all. Happiest of Fridays to all y'all. Like I said, I'm sorry for yesterday. Your brother man needed to take a day off. Actually, brother mans, your mans, including David, had to take a day off. You know what I'm saying? It was just, it was much needed. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I personally was pretty wiped out. It's been a long week, and so for myself, it was nice to just kind of sleep in and take a day of rest. You know, I've been fighting a cold, not the Rona, but I've been fighting the cold, fighting a cold for the past week, and so doing this show, being up every day, doing 2 shows a day, then on top of that, the pop-up videos and all that, becomes very taxing on a body, especially when you don't get time to really rest. So yesterday, for me, on a personal level, it was just nice to be able to just stop doing things. You feel me? So, yeah. That's my excuse. I don't know what David's excuse is. I mean, it's probably something really lame anyway. So we're just gonna skip over that because his excuse is not important. I'm totally playing. How are you doing, man?
No, I'm good, man. Yeah, it's just I had a lot of things I needed to catch up on and take care of yesterday. Still pretty tired. That's why I woke up pretty late. I almost woke up too late for the show today. So I'm pretty looking forward to this weekend here.
Oh, I feel you. I'm kind of on the same page with you, man. I woke up this morning and I was just like, boy, today's a tough one. I woke up late personally as well. I mean, it was yeah. Usually I'm up at a certain time, and today was just a really tough one for me. Yeah, no excuses. Just was I think it's just my body's tired. I think a lot of us are just tired. You know, I think that's what happens on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? We all get that. That reminder of thank you, Jesus. Friday's about to be, or like the weekend's about to be here. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice reminder of like, you know what? You worked hard this week, bub. I don't know why I call myself bub, but you know what I'm saying. So you worked your ass off this week, man. Just take some time. You know that this is the weekend. Now you get to unwind and not do a damn thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Real talk. Even today, I was like, I'm getting out of bed, and I'm like, you know, I don't really have to do a live show today. I could just still do a couple pop-up videos and just keep it moving. I'm still working, but no. I'm just like, nope, can't. I'm gonna put in the work. I gotta put in the work because that's just the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Because this grind don't stop. All right. But, man, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'll be straight funky with you. Yeah, that's about it. I have no great, amazing opening monologue or opening discussion today. Today is Freaky Friday. And there are some really sad things to talk about to start off with, which I'm not happy about this, man. Real talk. This is, so I'm trying to get the article up again because it was here. Now it's gone, just like the person that we're about to talk about. And and it's sad. I'm not trying to make a joke out of this. Real talk. I'm upset. Deebo, a.k.a. Tiny Lister, a.k.a. Tommy Lister Jr., Friday actor, was found dead in his apartment, or in his home, sorry. Died at the age of 62 after apparently experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. So actor and wrestler Thomas Lister Jr., also known as Tiny, was found in his home Thursday after experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, his manager told CNN. I'm reading from a CNN article. The 62-year-old actor started feeling sick a week ago, but his symptoms got really bad really quick, apparently from what the manager said. He couldn't breathe and he felt very weak, she said. It literally went so fast. Lister, of course, was best known for his role as Deebo in Friday, alongside, in Friday, alongside the rapper Ice Cube. He also appeared as Hulk Hogan. He also appeared with Hulk Hogan. I was about to say, what? As Hulk Hogan? He black. In the World Wrestling, in a WWE movie, No Holds Barred. Of course, if you were a kid and were a fan of Hulk Hogan, you knew this movie, No Holds Barred, for sure. Well, he was supposed to have gone on set for a new role this weekend. However, he called to cancel because he was feeling too weak and had a hard time breathing. Tiny doesn't miss movies. He took it very seriously. The actor then canceled plans for a panel scheduled for Wednesday for a TV festival via Zoom. And she said her assistant went to Lister's home that day with vitamins and antibiotics to check in. Concerned family members also started calling him Wednesday night. The calls went unanswered, the manager said. The next day, a friend of Lister's went to his home and called the police to help when nobody came to the door. When deputies entered the room, or entered his home, they found Lister dead. Mr. Lister's death appears to be of natural causes, but will ultimately be determined by the Office of Medical Examiner Coroner, said the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And the death is still under an investigation, but of course, hopefully we'll find out what were the real causes of his death and how he really crossed over. If you knew of Tony Lister, if you knew of him as Deebo, I mean, shoot, everybody would use Deebo as it's a term, you know what I mean, that people use to, like, don't Deebo that, you know what I mean? Man, he straight Deebo that, you know what I mean? If you know Friday, then you know Deebo, the character Deebo, and then you know Tommy Lister, or Tiny Lister. You've seen him in a bunch of movies. You've seen him on the WWE. You've seen him in everything. I mean, he's a staple in some of the most, like, in the hood zeitgeist. I mean, he is just like, he's part of pop culture. And it sucks that he's not with us anymore. And this is a terrible story and a terrible way of going, especially if he was really having COVID-19 symptoms, or if he really had the vid. If you really had the vid, then this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? This is more and more reasons why we want to get rid of this virus. We want this out of our country because we're losing great people like him. You know what I'm saying? Good ass dude, from my understanding, from the stories I've been hearing since last night, because this broke last night. People have been sharing their stories on social media, talking about how good of a guy he was, how he was, how he works and how he's a hard worker and how he has a good heart. And so the fact that this is another person that 2020 took is it's terrible. So, may Tommy Lister, Deebo, may he forever rest in peace. It sucks. I'm sorry to hear that he passed. What do you think, David?
Yeah, it's really sad. Like you said, I seen him in Friday and Fifth Element. He was really good actor, and I enjoyed him, his presence and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks he died alone. It's happening to a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see if it's COVID or not for sure. But either way, it's a huge loss for his family and for all of us that enjoyed his performances.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this, when I found out about this, I'm about to go back, I'm about to go to sleep, and I just open up my cell phone, open up the IG app, and it's the first thing I see, and I'm like, damn, come on, man. 2020 took another person, man, another staple, another actor, another, beloved person, and that sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid. It's really, really stupid, and that's why I am, of course, I am very cautious, but I am hopeful about this vaccine because hopefully we won't hear stories like this anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I think that a lot of us were thinking that after the first wave, we were going to hear those horror stories on that first wave of the virus, right? And then all of a sudden, we get a second wave. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, it's like we got the second wave, and now we're hearing more and more people, loved ones, friends, family, actors, that we know now dead. Because of this because of this virus. So I am really hopeful that this virus does have a vaccine that is successful. Which of course we got to, we're going to segue into this next thing, right? We got to segue into this next conversation. And so apparently there is some new news in regards to the vaccine being administered in the United States. David's got the story. What's up, man?
All right. So earlier in the week, we talked about how the FDA approved their study of the vaccine, saying it was a complete study. And so the board took that, I think yesterday. Yes, they took that and decided to vote on the total Pfizer authorization. And it ended up passing with 17 of 23 experts voting yes, it is safe and should be passed. And 4 voted no, and 1 expert abstained from the vote. The decision does not mean the FDA will automatically grant emergency use authorization, but it most likely does mean that we'll be seeing it start getting ready to distribute on Friday, which, today. So it will be the first one in the country to get to the full EUA. And it's before Moderna, which is a U.S.-based company, which is also working on it and expected to get their authorization around, December 17th. On December 17th, they will review the final data from Moderna to decide on the EUA for that. But so far, Pfizer is accepted with only 4 dissenters out of 22 and 1 abstaining. And it's expected that Pfizer will ship nearly just short of 3 million doses within 24 hours of receiving the EUA, the signed EUA. They already have a copy of the preliminary EUA so that they're all prepared for it and everything. And in total, the company will ship 50 million doses by the end of the year, which will vaccinate 25 million Americans. And there are 21 million healthcare workers and 3 million people living in long-term healthcare facilities. These initial doses will not go beyond this group, which is the first group that the CDC decided that we should, or advised the president that we should treat first. And it looks like the advice went through. So it will be frontline healthcare workers and the elderly and basically old folks home, but any long-term living facility. And so the vast majority of the people were satisfied with it. Dr. Paul Offit, director of Vaccine Education Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, said he was worried about the information could mean for millions of Americans who suffer from severe allergies. He says, "We don't know the details of those two cases," and he's referring to the UK cases where 2 doctors were sick. And he goes on to say, "We don't know specifically what it was they were allergic to or what their history with severe allergies was exactly. There are tens of millions of people in this country who carry EpiPens with them because they have peanut allergies, because they have egg allergies, who are going to believe now that they can't get this vaccine. That's a lot of people." And Pfizer officials said they saw no serious allergic reactions among their volunteers. This is the senior vice president of vaccine research at Pfizer, said that with the 44,000 subjects, they saw no serious allergic reactions at all. Though, to remind everyone, only about 15 to 20,000 of those actually received the vaccine, since it was a double-blind. Half of them or more received the placebo. He goes on to say that within the clinical trial, we've actually not seen evidence to suggest a signal related to allergic reaction to the vaccine. All right. And just a few hours ago, one of the FDA people explained why they voted against it. It was Dr. Archana Chatterjee, who was a member of the advisory panel who voted against it, said that she was opposed because she does not believe 16 or 17-year-old people should be included in the vaccination program. She said basically she just doesn't think it's safe yet. Here we go. There was no particularly different safety signal for them as the older individuals, so the majority of the committee members felt comfortable voting yes, she said. Yesterday was a milestone, but there's a long road ahead. The vaccine isn't going to be eligible for 16 and 17-year-olds for quite some time, and probably until it gets fully licensed at some point, hopefully if everything goes well, in the spring or in the summertime. And the other 3 dissenters and the abstainer did not have so far not commented on why they decided to go against or vote no on the safety of the vaccine.
Interesting. Well, I mean, here it is. Now, there's also added story or added pieces to this as well, saying that it looks like New York could get their first round of things starting this weekend. They can get their first round of vaccines as soon as this weekend. Now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen here. They're still, it sounds like they're still kind of talking back and forth in regards to this being something that they use for, to come and be something more a national thing. But obviously, they're hitting up places that are getting hit hard with the virus right now. I don't know. What do you think on this, man? What are your thoughts on this, David? In regards to what the reasons that they're kind of, there's a little bit of a tug of war going on. You know what I mean? With the panel that's making the final decision on what's going to happen with this vaccine and if it's going to be something that can be administered to anyone and not only just for emergency cases. What are your thoughts on this, man?
See, I'm not too surprised by the dissenting votes, specifically from that doctor. She said that, basically there's not enough studies or information to know for sure if this vaccine is safe for everyone. And some of them fear that people will be unwilling to take the vaccine because we don't know what allergies are the most dangerous to it yet. And so a large group may just avoid it completely since they know for sure that allergies are dangerous. Well, they're pretty sure. But at the same time, they don't know which ones or exactly what caused the reaction. They still don't know what caused the anaphylactoid reactions in the first place that caused the 2 doctors to go into anaphylactic shock requiring treatment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that idea that there's just simply not enough evidence. That's why we won't see it's going to be another 6 months or so before it's authorized for use for the general population because they're not sure if it's safe yet. That's why it's only under an emergency use authorization, because they don't have enough information to know if it's safe for the general public, which is why they're only treating these, they're using these 50 million treatments on, I don't think it's a good idea, but on frontline workers and healthcare facilities first. And,
Right.
the UK's own CDC equivalent had concerns about that because of administering the vaccine to elderly people that might already be in, basically on their way out because they're either in a hospice or some other facility of that kind, will complicate and it'll pretty much corrupt the data because any illnesses or deaths that would naturally occur will now have to be considered as a possible side effect of COVID. And it could also be an actual side effect of COVID that might get missed because of their old age and other problems. So that is, there's been a lot of concerns. That's generally been the votes from no within both the UK and it seems in America have been just because there's not enough evidence. And a lot of them are basically, at least in the U.S., are waiting for about 6 more months to see if they get the full national authorization instead of just the emergency use authorization, which the emergency use authorization is part of our testing and study to see if it's safe for the general population. That's why I don't think it's necessarily a great idea on who they're deciding to test first.
Right. Yeah. But I think if they have pause, if there is great pause that's going on in regards to giving this to the rest of the country, right? If there's great pause, why give it to somebody who is why give it to even give it to anybody in emergency cases only? Why even do that? Why risk that? Because that person still needs to survive. That person still needs to, live to see another day. So part of me goes, if you're not cool with giving it to the rest of the country, why administer it only for emergency uses? That's the part that doesn't. That's the part that I can't process in my head. You see what I'm saying? That's one piece that I'm not okay with. David, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree completely. Specifically, since both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines, they're study groups of the 45 or 30 to 45,000, depending on the test.
Right.
Only around 10,000 of them were elderly, as in 80 or over. I mean, specifically 80 or over, not just elderly. And so out of that 10%, only half of them got the actual vaccine. So you're looking at about 1,500 elderly people representing these long-term living facilities that got the tests in both Moderna and the Pfizer. With the UK, it was only around 300 people, and with the US, it was around 200 to 400 people. I don't remember the exact number. And I believe those were double blinds as well. So you're looking at only 100 to 200 elderly were actually given the vaccine. So yeah, I do think it's a kind of a reckless decision to give it to the elderly first, when the vast majority, I think 70 to 80% of the people tested were healthy in the mid 20s to 30s, and that is obviously the least vulnerable group. So the vaccines aren't necessarily the most required there, but it also was able. The reason they do that, though, isn't necessarily to exclude old people. It's because they do have other considerations, and healthier mid-20s and 30s are good for that. So, again, I'll just point to this one since it's common. The sickle cell disease is more prevalent in Black people because of just the genetic commonalities in the demographic. And you can kind of expect the same thing to happen from other treatments, though you don't know for sure. Chemistry is one of those things that you can't necessarily predict. It just happens and you have to see it. And so part of testing healthy groups is making sure that races, ethnicities, and blood types do not have any different effects on the vaccine.
Thank you, because for a fact that one of the main things, like in Chicago, for example, one of the things that is killing Black people right now, the Black community in Chicago, just Chicago alone, is the vid, is this Rona. you know, and I feel like there's all this stuff that's going on, all these studies and everything that's going on are being put on. I feel like their main test subjects happen to be of Caucasian descent. They're not putting it on any other races and seeing how it affects black people, how it affects the Asian community, so on and so forth. Like they're not putting that in consideration. They're just giving it out as if it's one size fits all. And I don't think that's the case. You know, like we've already heard from, because you've done a wonderful and amazing job keeping up with this whole vaccine and the vaccine stories and the test results and the side effects, et cetera. You name it, you've said pretty much everything, and it's been wonderful. But one of the things that you've pointed out, and that we've all seen and discussed on this show multiple times, is how certain people can't take this vaccine. How they'll say, if you have severe allergies, you cannot take this. It is strongly recommended for you to take this vaccine. You see what I'm saying? If it's not, so that is pure proof positive right there that this is not one size fits all. So how do you know if this is not going to affect anybody in the Indian community, black community, Asian community? I mean, any community other than Caucasian.
You're right. The Pfizer vaccines and the Pfizer vaccine, which is the one that we have authorized right now, in particular, it mostly it was a Swiss and German-based study, so it mostly focused on whites of Germanic descent and Muslims, Turks, Arabs, Turks, and Indians. So those were the largest minorities on the focus of the Pfizer vaccine. Black people, specifically Black Americans, only represented a minute portion of the overall studies, and they were only studied in the American blacks in particular were only studied in the American FDA trials, and there was only, I think, around 400, 300 people. I would have to look at the numbers again. It might have been a little higher. It was less than 1,000 for sure. It was definitely way less than 1,000.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You catch what you picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, the Pfizer and Moderna did not test a lot of black people.
They should have. And they should have. That should have been one of their main focus. That should have been one of their main focus groups. Regardless of anything, there should have been a main focus group of that as well. Because this is something that's killing a lot of black people. We just talked about Tiny Lister died allegedly due to COVID-19 complications. All right? That is an African American man, that is a black man that just died. Now you got this vaccine and they're saying, "Hey guys, this is going to be the thing that say this is going to be the magic glass slipper for everybody. This is going to fix everything." You don't know if it's going to work on everybody. So I understand why that panel's going, wait a second, we gotta pause really quick. Maybe we could let it be out there for emergency use only if that person's at the brink of death. They're only a hairline fracture away from crossing over, and this is their last ditch effort to make this person survive. Okay. But as far as the rest of the country, I can see that. I can see why they're going, hold up. Like I said, I would not want to jump right in and take something that hasn't fully been properly tested. As you've said, you've said multiple times too on the show, David, you're like, I would love to see them do 5 to 6 more months of testing before they actually just say everybody gets a free vaccine. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way because I think about my own people too, especially when it's something that is killing more black people. Like that was a main issue 9 months ago. Wow, it's been 9 months. That was a problem that we had 9 months ago. That was an issue that kept being brought up. about the black community being eradicated by this virus. So they finally have this. They finally have this vaccine, one of the vaccines that they're pushing out there, that they said at first it was 90%. Wait, no, 94%, 94.5% effective. But they haven't tested it on everybody yet. Like, they haven't tested it on enough people yet. I mean, that should put great pause on anybody. If they have not, I mean, at least to the black community, I feel like that is something that should make everyone pause so hard. Keep wearing the masks, keep washing your hands and your feet, doesn't matter. You don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Play smart and wait for this thing to be tested out before you start putting something that you don't even, some foreign liquid all up in your body that could kill you. I mean, like I said, I don't mean to be that guy. I'm not trying to squash anybody's dreams, but I keep thinking if it's something that is killing black people more than ever, and they haven't tested it on enough black people, why would the black community want to put something in their body that hasn't been fully tested out on the black community or a black group?
And I do want to point out, it could specifically, there could be, if there's a genetic expression of vulnerability to the virus in black people, it could specifically be black Americans, because obviously the genetic stock is different due to slavers and tyranny. So there's less genetic variety within the black community in America because they didn't get to marry and have children of their own free will. So that is also a problem that causes more regressive traits to be predominant in the black community, is because of that. Basically, that, I hate to say it, but black people were bred instead of being let free. This is what it was. They were bred, and that caused genetic vulnerabilities.
Interesting. That's an interesting. That's what you read. Damn. That's some serious. That's some serious ish. You know what I'm saying? Damn. And I can see that to a certain extent. I can see that. But like I said, that's something that I can't stand. That's something that I feel like needs to be figured out, approached, looked at, because, like I said, there are more and more people dying from this, and I feel like that's something that needs to be made sure. Like, they need to make sure that this thing works. And of course, we're obviously looking at Great Britain. We're looking at England like crazy to make sure that there's nothing crazy going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that there's nothing wrong or bad popping off as far as side effects out there. But my only thought is, there's not sitting here saying that there aren't any African British in England, but I just feel like we're gonna be hearing a lot of stories here as time goes on, and I know that there's a lot of people that are willing to take the vaccine, even in America, regardless of the side effects or anything like that. A lot of people are. Like Debbie just said a second ago, I'm taking the vaccine. I'm sick of watching people die, and I totally understand that. She is a frontline worker. She is a healthcare worker. She is seeing this happen in her hospital every single day. And I got to be real, Debbie. Of course, I salute you. You are a freaking soldier. But I don't blame her for going and seeing the horrors of it and being like, yo, I got to do this. Like, I got to take the vaccine because I can't live this world anymore. You know what I mean? I can't live in this world and constantly be wondering if I sneeze or cough, that automatically means that I got the COVID. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame her for feeling that way. at all. She just said a second ago, Debbie just wrote on YouTube, my coworker, a nurse, lost her mom last week to COVID. They won't tell her where her mom is, where her mom's belongings are. Enough. You know, and that's really sad. And especially now that everything's going, you know what I mean? Now that everything's like skyrocketing even more now, we're going to be getting more and more stories, I feel, like Debbie just said, you know, where it's almost like this calloused, uncompassionate approach to people's lives, because they're going to be too busy dealing with more and more people who are sick. You know, like what we had 9 months ago, where we had people who were dying of the COVID, and they were showing huge, like 2-ton trucks being filled up with bodies. Literally. I mean, we covered these things like before David was on the show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's some heavy stuff out here, y'all. You know? But, you know, at the same time, at the end of the day, it is up to what you feel is right. It's your body. Yeah, sorry to say that, but it's your body. It's your choice. You know, if you want to put the vaccine into your body, you have every right to do so. I will never pass judgment on you or anyone else that wants to take it or not take it. All I know is that I would want to sit back and really look at what's going on out there as far as how people are responding to this vaccine. I think about it more as I hate to say that, but I think of it more as a black man, and how what the virus has done to the black community already. But I don't think that this vaccine is tailored properly. It is not one size fits all. That's what I think. So for me, I get scared of taking something like that. Personally. Could work for any other person. But for me, it gives me great pause. HKS Gaming, HKS Game Boy, what's up, man? Thank you so much for jumping onto the show. You know, I appreciate it. He said he saw my Jake Paul video, and so he came to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and being a part of the conversation today, being a part of the Pascal Show family chat. I really appreciate that. But yes, you know, the thing is we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep watching this vaccine. I know it's getting really tiresome. I'm be real. I'm a little tired of talking about it every day. But that's, and it's not any knock to anyone that wants to hear these updates. It is it is a very necessary thing that we need to keep you guys up to date on, because I want you guys to make safe choices, make calculated and proper choices for yourself. So we're going to keep giving you guys the information. Obviously, I'm putting in my own 2 cents, just like David is putting in his own 2 cents. And that's okay. But don't make us sway your thoughts on what you want to do with the vaccine and how you want to approach staying safe out here during this crazy, crazy time. We just want to give you guys the facts. Okay? But we got to move on to the next thing. You know, it is, we live in a very interesting world, don't we? So this is something that has been going viral for the past couple days, or for a few days ago. And there was an anti-lockdown protest that was going on in Oregon. And, well, do you guys want to see a teacher flip the F out? I've already seen it, but I'm willing to watch it again. Let's check this out, shall we?
I
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just so you guys know a little bit of a backstory, there was an anti-lockdown protest that was going on in Oregon. And this is there was a group of people around. I guess they were very upset about schools being locked down, schools being shut down, and kids going back home and doing from home virtual learning and everything. And people are losing. Obviously, people out there are protesting, upset, angry, etc. And she, I guess, was driving by and just lost her damn mind. There's an interesting. I understand her point. I do. I understand her point. I do. I understand why she's angry. But yelling at a group of people isn't going to help anything. That's all I'm going to say. Yelling at a group of people that are out there protesting that are clearly not listening to you isn't going to change. It's not like they're all going to go, oh, well, yeah, she's got a point. Hey, put down the banners. We got to go. It's not going to change anything. All you're doing is making them feel stronger as a group. I understand what she's trying to say, though. I do. I think she's just picked the wrong battle to try to fight alone. Personally, David, what do you think on this, man?
Yeah.
Sorry, really quick. She also did get put on administrative leave. I just wanted to put that in there too. So whoever shot this video, obviously this video went viral. They found a way to get her fired or get her suspended for a little bit. So yeah. Anyway, David, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. She's obviously not going to accomplish anything. Pretty much like what you said. She's just yelling at them. She's just letting her own anger out, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not going to listen to her, especially if she's yelling. They're just going to be, like you said, more convinced that they're right because she's angry at them instead of saying something more rational. And so, yeah, I don't know. Self-defeating action. I don't know that she should get fired over it, though, but yeah. It's not up to me, I guess.
She isn't fired. She was just put on administrative leave.
Okay.
But I think it's a thing. You're a teacher, okay? You're a teacher. You don't curse, flip the bird, scream, and make a public. What's the word? I can't even think of the right word. Make a fool.
Display.
Yeah, make a public display of looking like a damn fool. That's what I was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? You're a teacher. Clearly, you have an image to uphold. Like you hear stories about people getting in trouble, like teachers getting in trouble for being, at a bar, getting wasted with their buddies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, still, no matter what, you are still a teacher. You have an image to uphold. You have a certain image that you have to maintain. So you can't really go around getting all crazy, having a blast. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can't go to a group of protesters, actually not go to them. You're just screaming out the side of your car, flipping them off, and losing your damn mind. I mean, the woman was hyperventilating. You saw that. I mean, she was panting. You know what I mean? And she was like having a full-on thing. Now, like I said, I get her anger. I understand what she's trying to say, because still, no matter what, we still don't have full answers for this virus. Vaccine has not been administered yet. We're still waiting. We're on the sidelines. There's a lot of teachers that are scared of going into a room filled with kids and either giving that kid the vid or getting the vid themselves. That's scary. That's really, really scary. So I understand the pressures now of being a teacher during this crazy, crazy time. But there's got to be a better way of approaching situations like this. Like, oh, I'm sorry, let me think. Drive away and don't say anything so you can continue to teach children. That's an idea. That's just one idea. You know what I'm saying? Shut the hell up and go home and call your boyfriend or your husband or your loved ones and vent on the phone to them, not in front of all these people where we live by our phones, right? Our greatest weapon is our phone nowadays. That woman literally just got put on administrative leave because somebody pulled out their weapon and hit that dreaded red button and started recording. That's the thing. One of the things she could have done was, I mean, it was already too late when she turned around and saw the camera on her and she just started waving like, hi, you know what I mean? Damage was already done. But at the same time, you got to remember, there's cameras everywhere. We live in a different time now. You know, this ain't the early 90s. This ain't the 80s where you could just do crazy stuff and then they just go, who the hell is that crazy woman? There's a time and place for everything, sweetheart. And that clearly was not the time nor the place. You could still secure the bags. You could have just sent out a really angry tweet or put it as a status on your Facebook page. Something. You know what I mean? There's other choices you could have had instead of jumping in and trying to fight a large group of anti-lockdown protesters. That I just think it's stupid. I think it was a very dumb move. Long story short, a very dumb move. There's ways to get around it. Period. There's ways to get your point across. That was not the one. That was not. That ain't gangsta, girl. That ain't gangsta. Anyway, moving on to the next story. We got another story. This is one that's interesting. So there was Kim Kardashian has lately been in the news. What else is new? She's always in the freaking news. But recently she was trying to get the Supreme Court to delay the execution of an inmate by the name of Brandon Bernard. Unfortunately, last night he was executed because the Supreme Court did deny the request for delay. But a little bit about him. Bernard, 40, was one of 5 gang members convicted in Texas of killing Stacey and Todd Bagley, who were youth ministers in 1999. The gunman, Vialva, was executed in September, while the other co-defendants were given lesser sentences. So he was pronounced dead at 9:27 p.m. last night. He was the youngest person in the U.S. to receive a death sentence in nearly 70 years for a crime committed when he was an adolescent. Bernard said he had been waiting for his chance to apologize to the family of the Bagleys and his own family for the pain he had caused. He says, "I'm sorry, I wish I could take it all back, but I can't," Bernard said to the family of the Bagleys during his 3-minute last words. That's the only words that I can say that completely capture how I feel now and how I felt that day. The Bagley family thanked Trump and the federal government for carrying out the sentence in their statements. "I pray that Brandon has accepted Christ as his savior, because if he has, Todd and Stacey will welcome him into heaven with love and forgiveness," Charles Woodard wrote on behalf of the Bagley family. It has been a very difficult. It has been a very difficult. There's a typo in here. It has been very difficult to wait 21 years for the sentence that was imposed by the judge and jury on those who cruelly participated in the destruction of our children to be finally completed. That's what Georgia A. Bagley, Todd's mother, wrote. This senseless act of an unnecessary evil was premeditated and had many opportunities to be stopped at any time during a 9-hour period. Wow, this was torture, as they pleaded for their lives from the trunk of their own car. Georgia Bagley spoke to reporters within 30 minutes of the execution and became emotional when she spoke about Bernard's and Valva, whatever, apologies. The apology had remorse, helped very much heal my heart, she said, beginning to cry and recompose herself. I can very much say I forgive them. Bernard's execution was scheduled this fall by the government. It was the 9th execution since Attorney General William Barr announced restarting federal executions after a 17-year hiatus, a decision that has been fraught with controversy, especially during the global pandemic, and can be halted under President-elect Joe Biden's administration. However, that may be too late for the 5 federal death row inmates scheduled to die before Inauguration Day, January 20th. So the thing is Bernard was, obviously he had Kim Kardashian, because she has done some work in regards to, exonerating some people, getting inmates free from prison. So of course, including, what's his name? Tiger King is also trying to get a pardon through Kim Kardashian. So Brandon Bernard reached out to, of course, was able to get in touch with Kim Kardashian, and she also heard his story, and she felt moved enough to try to obviously see if the Supreme Court could delay the execution. I don't know what for, maybe to try to, pose an appeal, and maybe try to reduce his sentence from being an execution to maybe just life in prison. God knows what her main goal was. But once she found out that the actual execution did take place and that he was gone, he perished last night at 9:27 p.m. She went to her Instagram and she was just very heartbroken. She just said, you could tell that this man was very remorseful, that he was a changed man. He was a completely different person, and she was just upset about another man being killed because of this death penalty being brought back, or, the federal death penalty coming back and being reissued and reinstated. Before I put in my 2 cents, I'm going to throw it to the fellas, because we got T in the house now. T, since you just jumped on, what are your thoughts on this story? You're muted, I think. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. What were you going to say?
This case just sounds so tragic, for the victims of the crime.
Right.
And that part, that takes some time to dive into, and whatever you believe in spiritually, you gotta try to find a way to help it make sense for you, because along that line comes forgiveness, eventually, hopefully. And if you look at the victims' families, they seem that they forgiven this man for doing what he did. That takes a lot of growth as a person to be able to forgive somebody for such a brutal act, So this man dying, this man being executed, it's part of justice. It was something that comes with society and punishment. I don't know. I mean, everyone has to pay for what they do. Being accountable for what we do is part of life. So, as far as a pardon, that's, pardons I think are just tricky in nature, and people are reformed in prison sometimes, and sometimes they're not. And it's really a tricky topic. The family has their right to advocate for the victims of their loved ones. Mm-hmm. As far as pardons are concerned, I really think it's like almost like an abortion kind of debate. it's really up. I think it's really up to the people, I think, who are affected most to decide in the situation.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'll say this, because you said something a second ago about the family themselves. I think the family was fine with him being executed. The family was more than fine with Bernard getting executed for show. I mean, I'm reading this from the article from CNN itself, and they said the Bagley family thanked Trump and the federal government for carrying out the sentence in their statements. So they clearly were cool with this man being put to death. Clearly okay with this man being taken off of this planet, regardless if he was apologetic and remorseful for the things that he did. They also said that that, for example, this was premeditated, and this is what the mother said. This was a crime that was premeditated. They had many opportunities to be stopped. They had many opportunities for this crime to be stopped during a 9-hour period. This was torture, as they pleaded for their lives from the trunk of their own car. So when you're reading that and you're hearing that from an actual, like, the mother of Todd Bagley, they were cool with them. They were cool with the death penalty. The family, they were cool with it. They were cool with it.
Then it's fine. It's
you know
fine,
what I'm saying?
If the family's fine with it, then go with it. I really think that those who are immediately affected by these tragedies should have the most say so. And President Trump following, out with the plan, congrats to him. I mean, justice is served. If the family feels that this is the right, solution to this, then yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
People play, on different sides of the politics with this, as far as like, can we play God or not? Like I said with abortion, but end of the day, there has to be consequences for our actions, and will this deter other criminals in the future? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not to say that it does, but for this man to do what he did, it's inexcusable, So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he knew what he did, and this was the judge's sentence, and he knew he had to wait it out until his day was here, and unfortunately, the family, lost someone, in this, and this man had to pay for that.
What do you think, David?
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, generally, I guess I'm against the state executing people in general.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, they he said he was sorry, which was great, and they said they forgave him, which I guess I don't really see it as forgiveness if it's conditional on his death still, but that's just me. Either way, just by I don't know, by the process of execution, there's no way for that forgiveness or recognition of his mistakes to ever become productive and try to benefit society at that point. It's just kind of null and void. So if he's really was sorry and they really forgave him, it doesn't really matter for much because they still acted. Everything still proceeded as if no one was apologetic or sorry for what happened. And just in general, I'm against the state committing acts of violence against citizens, especially with the strange way executions have been started here recently. Since July 14th of this year, the federal state has been executing people 2 times a month sometimes, and while the 50 states have pretty much stopped executing people since the federal government picked it up on the 14th, and it's not unusual during times of political instability or for difficult political changes to come with a lot of executions to show the sort of authority of the government. Still, it is the government's ultimate authority is its monopoly of violence and its ability to perform it on its subjects without retribution, and that executions are kind of the ultimate case of that, where private citizens have really no recourse towards government violence at that point in terms of executions. And so that's why I'm kind of partially also concerned about all these recent spate of executions. Is it speaks more to me of like the nationalism you saw during like the French Revolution with massive executions in the streets. You see it throughout history. Anytime there's political strife or especially civil war, you start seeing massive executions by the state, and that always concerns me.
Yeah, I mean, it is very interesting how it had, like what you said in the very beginning, excuse me, how they've just been rolling out these death penalties like crazy. And I mean, as soon as it got okayed, as soon as it got passed, and it was like they just turned on a light switch, you know, and just got this the whole thing started. You know, personally, I'm on the fence about the death penalty, period. I'm very much on the fence about it, because if you do some heinous crime, there's a part of me that thinks that if I put myself in the Bagley's family shoes, and that was my child, and some heinous, violent, vicious crime takes my baby away from me, or my babies away from me, and that person gets caught and gets thrown into jail, and then he gets tried and all that, I would expect them to throw the book at this damn dude or person. Doesn't matter. I would want, in my heart, I would want to see justice fully exercised. A part of me in my head goes, well, if somebody is going to stay in prison, then he is a constant reminder of what the heinous crime that happened, the fact that my child is not with me anymore. This person gets to eat, like, yes, of course, being in prison is hell on earth. I can only imagine. But they get a free meal. They got a roof over their head. Yeah, sure, they got to dodge things like don't drop the soap type of situations and other various things. But they're still on this planet. This is my child that's no longer here. But this person is just going to be locked up. I feel like every morning, every waking moment, actually, I would have that constantly lingering in the back of my head. The fact that person is still here, but my son or daughter is not. I would want to see that person. I feel that's when I feel the death penalty. That's when I'm like, yeah, I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
yeah, I mean,
God forbid, any person's situation. I just feel like it's you feel some type of way until it actually happens to you, quote unquote, right? Because as much as you say, oh, I'm not for it. What if that was to happen to you? To one of your loved ones? Would you still go, no, God made this happen. I forgive this person. I'm sorry. I'm going to speak in a grisly way, but there ain't no freaking way I'm going to find peace in my heart for someone who's done something so terrible as to take someone I love away from me. So I don't know. I guess I lean a little bit more towards the death penalty. I guess. Doesn't matter if this person's reformed or not. Personally, I go, you just took somebody from me, and you're still here. I don't know. I've always, The death penalty has always been one that I struggle with, you know? Always. As much as I think that I'm a good person and a God-fearing and God-loving human being, there's another part of me that says, no, I'm a vengeful person too. Especially when it comes to something like that. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I agree on the principle that I don't think getting vengeance is wrong in that regard. My problem is the federal government deciding who dies and taking care of this and performing the executions. I don't necessarily think that that person shouldn't experience retribution. It's my concern is that the government is deciding who dies. The government's performing the executions, and the executions are ultimately political. And there are a lot of cases where people who have committed more heinous crimes do not get executions, while those who performed less heinous crimes but were more public will get the executions. And that's my problem with them. I do agree that some people say revenge is wrong. I don't necessarily think that's true. That's the very principle where we got our laws from. Like, we like to say that our laws are our prison system is rehabilitory, but it's not. It's a system of locking up people in fringe. We know it makes their lives worse. We know that when they come out, they're more inclined to make other people's lives worse because of their times in prison. And I mean, it's just an entire system that doesn't really work with that degree of government intervention. It just creates corruption and abilities for people to target who they want. Like someone in the chat was saying, I'm not sure if I agree that, but it might be true that Trump is targeting these because out of the executions, just to give you some numbers, before, let's see, I think it was about a month ago. Before a month ago, it was 1 black guy was executed, 3 white, and 1 Native American. But the last 3 executions have been black guys, and the execution plan for today is a black guy. And, that does that's a strange trend in that regard, considering all of the people they do have imprisoned. And so that could be one of those expressions of political control and monopoly of violence, is that they are maybe targeting black people right now to kind of counter that. It's definitely a possibility. I'm not sure, but it's possible.
Yeah. T. Thoughts? One last round.
Yeah, this is a heavy topic. I mean, it really is.
It most definitely is, man.
I mean, you made a good point earlier with it so happens to you or someone close to you, you're not really, your views may actually change.
Yeah.
David made some valid points as well in terms of who should be in charge of these executions. And is it government playing a political game with these? And that's possible as well. I can definitely see that being valid. A part of me, says, hey, eye for an eye, maybe that would deter people from being criminals, or let the family or the victims get back, do back to them what was done. But is that what we want in society to be the norm? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, how do we deter crime? Because it hasn't stopped. We've had prisons, forever. And America is probably the most imprisoned country in the world,
Mm-hmm.
So has it stopped? No. And it gets back to, the core of a person, what makes them tick, and a lot of times is the upbringing of people. Your learned behavior is typically repeated, so, what's missing? The easy answer is love, obviously, but at the same time, how do we help, let's say, the youth or teenagers, because they're easier probably to access? How do we help them and prevent them from being criminals going forward? Because once you're an adult, I mean, it's over. I mean, the game is rigged in a way where, it can give you any kind of sentence based off any kind of crime.
Right.
It's not really like this equals this. You know what I'm saying? So for certain demographics, some people are definitely given harsher sentences long term, for similar crimes. Death penalty, like David has said, the next 3 or the last 3 were black men, That right there is a sign that something has to be done in terms of helping those who need help the most. Should we banish teenagers who charge as adults for 20, 25 years life? Should we? Or should we try to actually reform them, which we claim to do, but we know that doesn't happen, So, unfortunately, the whole system, isn't really helping somebody who actually needs help. And it's a cycle, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a very unfortunate cycle that continues going round and round and round. And you're right. I mean, as much as you may reform, let's say Bernard, for example, as much as you reform Bernard, he ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be real. Like he's gonna stay in prison. He ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter how many ways that he has seen the light or seen change in his life. He did a very heinous crime. He did a very violent and unthinkable crime. And regardless of that, if he was going to see death penalty or not, he was going to see life in prison. So even if you were to have somebody reform during their life in prison, I don't know. It still doesn't matter if you really think about it. Yes, they might be like, oh, I found God, or I have fully reformed in any way, shape, or form. They're still seeing life in prison. So it's not like they can go back out into the world and bestow their new gifts on people and do the right thing from that point on. They're still stuck in prison. So, but I do see what you're saying as far as like when it comes to teens and they do something really dumb or a violent act or something like that, and they're only in prison for a little while and then they get put back out into society. But being able to reform those kids so that they know right from wrong and can take a much more righteous path from this point on, that's important. But when it comes to life and when it comes to lifers, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say something when they're going to be stuck there for life because of that terrible crime that they did. You know what I mean? But you guys both have some really, really, you guys are both right. You guys have some very strong points here. For me, it's just as much as I say that I hate the death penalty, which I do put myself in somebody's shoes who is a victim or who has seen, not a victim, but, some have survived, but a family member of a victim, that it was in the hands of someone who has done something so terrible. And I keep thinking, bruh, would I let this person live? Would I let this person live? As much as I sit here and go, oh, it's terrible. It's death penalty. Terrible, terrible. There is a part of me that goes, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to just walk away personally. You know what I'm saying? And let them live their life. I'd at least put a good beating to them. I would hurt them so, you know what I'm saying? Like something. I'm just being human. I'm just being human right now. Forget all the politics. Forget all the stuff, whether you lean left or right. If you are human, I'm just speaking on a human level. You know what I'm saying? Forget logic here. For a fact, you put a hurting on somebody if that happened to you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face, or until this pink hoodie loses its color. But we got to jump into a quick commercial break because we haven't done that yet. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be right back. We got some interesting news about some Star Wars stuff. It's a left turn, I know. A left turn from death penalty to Star Wars. Just roll with me, guys. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for being on the show and being a part of the conversation. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. That would really mean a lot. I do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do an evening show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays through Thursdays. I might come on later on tonight. I don't know yet. I like to do these random impromptu streams from time to time over the weekend and everything. It all depends on if I'm in the mood or not. You know what I'm saying? Just depends on it, really. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm going to use this time to sleep. I might just do that too, because that sleep is so glorious sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, that glorious sleep when you get it. It is a beautiful thing. You're like, man, is this a treat? Am I in heaven? You know what I'm saying? Am I resting on clouds right now? Am I in heaven? That's what it feels like sometimes. That's what it felt like yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. That nap was freaking phenomenal. Anyway, moving on. Excuse me. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. And let's continue on with this conversation. We got some breaking news. As of yesterday, Ellen DeGeneres got the Rona? T's got the story. What's a guan, bruh?
Hey, so Ellen DeGeneres, a.k.a. Dory, has tested positive for COVID-19. The embattled daytime talk show host revealed her status via Twitter on Thursday. And as I quote, "Hi, everyone. I want to let you know that I've tested positive for COVID-19. Fortunately, I'm feeling fine right now. Anyone who has been in close contact with me has been notified, and I'm following all the CDC guidelines. I'll see you all again after the holidays. Please stay healthy and safe. Love, Ellen," end quote. A spokesperson from the studio says that the show will be paused in production until January.
Yeah, she got that Rona. She got that COVID. You know, one thing is I've noticed that there has not been a song about COVID. No one's ever made a song about, like, an original, not like a parody or anything like that. I'm talking about an original song just about that Rona. No one has so far. I mean, it's been quoted in songs and stuff, sure, but it's never been an actual thing. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Ellen got that Rona. I'm not surprised at all. She's been going through. This has been one hell of a year for her too. I'm going to say that. Shout out to Ellen. You know what I'm saying? She's been trying to pick herself up by the bootstraps and just kind of keep trudging through the mucky muck that she's been going through. But at the same time, though, I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised. She's been dealt a very heavy hand this year. So what a way to cap off the end of the year with some Rona. Makes sense to me. David, what do you think?
Yeah, it sucks for her. But was it her or someone else whose like wife or girlfriend had COVID as well? It might have been somebody else.
I think it was somebody else.
All right. But either way, I mean, it sucks for her to get it.
It sucks.
Yeah. I know she's gotten some heat lately. I don't watch her show or anything. I know she's gotten some heat for being, I guess, mean or something. I don't really know. But it's not good for anyone to get COVID. It looks like she's not suffering any symptoms right now, or at least any, what did she said? She just said she's feeling fine right now. So at least that's good. But yeah,
she's saying
rough
that
year for her.
She's saying that, but you don't really know for sure. You know what I'm saying? She could sit here and say anything right now. She could sit here and go, "Oh yeah, I'm eating sundaes and you know, playing Xbox and having a grand old time," and she could literally be in her bed, curled up in a ball, just in absolute excruciating pain. You never know. So as much as she says that, nah, I don't know if I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be a dick. Not trying to be a dick. But I'm just being real. You know, she has been hit with the ugly stick for this year. She has been hit with the unlucky stick, horde, and now she's got the Rona, and that sucks. And the show's being stopped for what? Till January, right? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, January. You know, this is like COVID karma for her. You know,
COVID karma.
Karma. She was being really supposedly mean and witch-like to her castmates and her production crew.
Mm-hmm.
So someone probably sent her a nice little Christmas basket of COVID something. So that teddy bear should be squeezed right now. Okay, it was all sneezed up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sneezed on it and licked on its eyeballs and everything. They're like, "Yay, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays," and bleh, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy, but she has been. Here it is. I like Ellen. All right, I for what the show is, whether it's real or fake as hell. I do like I do like her show. You know, I think that she had a wake-up call this year, and hopefully she's doing everything she can to make things better with her show, not as negative, not as crappy, so on and so forth. I'm sure she'll bounce back. Doesn't mean anything. I think that her 12 Days of Christmas giveaway or whatever she does. See, I do know this show. She's in the middle of doing that right now. So I don't know if they have batch shot a whole bunch of her stuff already, or if they have to just stop dead in its tracks. But you know, I was looking forward to seeing a whole room get a whole lot of like, I don't know, Toshiba flat screen TVs or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, there's not going to be a whole lot of people getting any giveaways for the next couple weeks. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. She can always do something with that. She can stock that stuff up and give it to people for New Year's Eve gifts or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens as time goes on. I mean, of course, regardless of anything, all jokes aside, I hope that she has a speedy recovery, real talk. And I hope she is just having a grand old time chilling outside in the backyard of her multi-million-dollar freaking camp. I don't even know what to call her place. It's freaking probably a mausoleum, for crying out loud. You know, doing yoga, rolling around and having a grand old time with her wife and probably her 15 dogs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's the life. So I hope for her to have a speedy and easy recovery for real. Moving on, we got to talk about this Star Wars stuff because I thought this was very interesting. There's a reason. We got to talk about this Star Wars stuff. There's a reason why I wanted to bring this up. Okay? Because here's the thing. Okay. I know we don't talk about Star Wars like that on the show, like that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. I know that we're not a Star Wars channel. We're not some fanboy channel. You don't see action figurines behind me on shelves or anything of that sort. You don't see me playing any video game consoles live and streaming on Twitch, doing those kind of games or anything of that sort. But this is important, and I need you guys to hear this. Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Darth Vader in a new Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars series. Yeah. Now, if you don't know who Hayden Christensen is, he played Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. You know, the ones that we dare not speak of, right? Okay. Because apparently those were the ones that were the worst ones. Okay. So Darth Vader is going to be returning to a galaxy far, far, far away. Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilms, has announced that Disney Investors Day, that the Star Wars prequel star Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Darth Vader for the Obi-Wan spin-off series. The Obi-Wan series starring Ewan McGregor, yay, huge thumbs up to that, who played the beloved Jedi in the prequel films will air on Disney Plus. According to Lucasfilms, the new series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Revenge of the Sith. Additional actors joining the series include Genevieve O'Reilly and a whole bunch of other people. Fans will remember that that Revenge of the Sith saw Anakin Skywalker transform from Padawan to Sith Lord Darth Vader. Whether we'll get to see Christensen without the all-important Vader mask remains to be seen. However, the character's evil ascent into terrifying villain of the Empire has been chronicled by several years Star Wars comics, and we got a glimpse of his power in Rogue One, not to mention his journey in the original films. So I have to say, the reason why I'm bringing this up is, why are you bringing him back? Why are you bringing Hayden Christensen back? The reason why the first three films were trash was because of this dude. Actually, the second two, sorry. The last two films were trash because of him. Because of him. He's a terrible actor. Unless you end up putting him behind the mask and you just use James Earl Jones's voice throughout the entire thing. You're just using his body. Please tell me you're just using his body. And he doesn't have to speak. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fanboy, but I remember those movies like the back of my hand. And they were terrible. And one of the reasons why it was so terrible was Hayden Christensen was terrible. And let me just say this: Natalie Portman, who is an amazing actress, she's amazing. She wasn't great in that movie, in those series either, too. So that says a lot about those three movies. Now you're bringing his ass back, bruh. Ewan McGregor, fantastic. He's awesome in everything he does. He's super charismatic. Yay! Please, I want to see an Obi-Wan series. I think that'd be dope. But don't bring back Hayden Christensen. Oh. Anyway, what do you guys think on this? Sorry. I had to get that out of my system. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a bigger fan of the Star Wars, just the movies. So I'm not like into the games or books as much. But yeah, like I feel you there. Hayden Christensen, I don't think he's necessarily what ruined 2 and 3. I think it was the writing, but a good actor can help elevate that writing. To be fair, it takes a really good actor to elevate writing, but he just didn't give a good performance either, in my opinion. Even like Natalie Portman was stilted, but she had good expression and she had at least good animation with her character, even if what she was saying was kind of dumb just because of the writing. Yeah, so I feel you. Hayden Christensen, not really looking forward to him. I think the only worst character was the 8-year-old boy that played the younger version of him. So that was an 8-year-old boy, so you can kind of forgive that one. But either way, I guess like I've been looking forward to the Obi-Wan movie, sort of, at least when they originally announced it like 4 years ago. That was because they had originally announced it during the run of the previous series, and it just kept getting delayed. There's the whole Disney Plus and then COVID and everything. And, Disney looks like they're trying to move a lot of their movies and shows to Disney Plus now, like the Scarlet Witch show, the
Loki.
One of the movies, Scarlet Widow, Black Widow, yeah.
Oh, Black
Widow movie has been switched over to Disney Plus, if it even comes out at this point. So, Disney's been doing that a lot. What I think is interesting, though, is that, so like I said, I've been looking forward to Obi-Wan. It looks like they're going to be pulling in Ahsoka Tano, who was from the Clone Wars cartoon show, which I liked. And she just showed up, supposedly, I haven't seen it yet, but in season 2 of The Mandalorian, she's supposedly in there. So it's kind of interesting that they're trying to create it seems like they're trying to use the Obi-Wan one as the way to bridge the kind of like a Disney Star Wars universe for TV, or I guess Netflix or streaming or whatever. Kind of seems like the direction they're going with that. Because they do have a few other shows that are coming out that I haven't really looked into that are spin-offs of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
But I would I'm still interested in Obi-Wan just because, like you, I love Ewan McGregor. He's great at everything. He's just a really good actor, and I'm sure he'll even what was the episode called? Attack of the Clones or something, the second episode. He was really good in that. He was, to me, the only actor that did elevate the writing. Like, that's an example of what I'm thinking of. Like, he took kind of mediocre writing and made his parts incredibly entertaining, at least for me. So I'm looking forward to him. As for James Earl Jones doing the voice, I'm kind of like the idea, but at the same time, I think it was in Rogue One he did the voice, and he was sounding just a little too old, especially since we're getting a younger and younger Vader, but we're getting an older and older James Earl Jones. So
true.
I would like to see his voice again if they can kind of make him sound younger without getting into that uncanny valley like they did with Admiral Tarkin and Leia when they did the CGI, which made me uncomfortable, not because they were dead, but just because of the uncanny valley where they didn't quite look human, and I didn't like that.
T, what do you think? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just also wanted to add, I didn't like it because they were dead either, but the thing that bothered me most was just the fact that the uncanny valley from how unnatural it looked.
Yeah. T, what do you think? I agree. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that to be funny. I just totally agree with what you just said. Go ahead, T. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I'm not Star Wars savvy.
Yeah.
You know, all I know is, Luke, I am not your father. That's all I, you know.
What did you just say? Wait, stop.
That's all I know.
What did you just say? No. What did you just say? Luke, I am not your father? Did you say that?
Yeah, that's like Mario, you know. That's the Mario joke.
I was like, what are you doing, man? You killing me, bruh. Damn.
I know, it's all the way around, I know.
Luke, I might be your father. Like, oh, you're killing me, man.
I'm going to one-up you there and point out that he doesn't say Luke when he says that I'm your father. There you go. Okay. I'm the nerd. I win.
See, no, yeah, you just out-nerded all of us, real talk. You just out-nerded.
You checkmate.
Yeah, just wash my hands clean of this one. Sorry, oh man, you almost killed me there, bruh. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I almost died like 7 times.
Only thing I can add to this, really, you know, guys, this is not my forte, is that Disney is betting on themselves. They have a $16 billion allocation of funds to Disney Plus, and that's their way of competing with Netflix, which is the streaming giant, as well as HBO Max and Apple Plus as well.
Right.
They're going to put out 3 years of content, like back to back, you know, like Avalanche style, just to get revenue back from the cinemas being closed, Disney World being closed as well. So they're trying to make up for all those lost funds.
Yeah. You know. Go ahead, David.
This is just more rumors too, but supposedly Kathleen Kennedy, who is currently in charge of Star Wars, is going to be. She's once her contract is up, she'll be standing down, and the CEO of Disney supposedly has Kevin Feige, who is in control of the MCU, is unofficially taking over Star Wars right now, and the 2 directors, story writers in control of Mandalorian, are also going to be taking more of a head over Kathleen Kennedy if the rumors are true. So we will be seeing a bit of a different direction from Star Wars. It should be expected. Disney wasn't happy with the last 3 films, and they also weren't happy with a few other things, like some of the performance of, or not the performance, but some of the reactions to like Wonder Woman, which is part of why they're trying to redo all these things on Disney Plus, is to gain back the fan base they lost from Star Wars and some of the Marvel movies, not all of them. It wasn't as big of a schism as Star Wars, but it's still, there's still a bit of a, I guess a lot of people I didn't particularly like the Captain Marvel movie, but I guess that is like part of the change in direction, is that was one of Kathleen Kennedy's things, and so was the more original storyline that we saw in the last 3 movies. And that's probably why we're kind of seeing a change now, is that they're switching over to Kevin Feige as the main producer and the 2 Mandalorian writer-directors as the potential heads on the streaming TV branch of Star Wars.
The funny thing is this Kathleen Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy, right? I don't know why her last name just slipped from my mind, but it sounds like there's a lot of people that have strong feelings about that girl, about that woman, and what she's been doing with Disney and what she's been doing with the whole Star Wars franchise and et cetera. There's a lot of people that feel strongly against her, and they want to see her gone. They say that she is just taking the story that she's taking in Star Wars and just messing it all up, jumbling it up and making it worse than it was. And I don't know about all that. I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion about what she's doing and what she's not doing, but I could see them trying, like what T said earlier as well, that they're trying to do everything they can to make their monies back because they need to secure them bags. Especially now, you got HBO Max taking every single WB movie, every Warner Brother movie that's going to be in the theaters is now going to be streaming, by the way, for free. If you have an HBO Max subscription, you can watch Wonder Woman. You can watch all those new movies that are about to drop in the theaters. You can watch them for free inside of your HBO Max subscription. That's huge. Whether they make money off of that or not is a gamble, but it's a very big move because now you know for a fact that nobody is trying to go into the theaters to sit and watch a movie. Not a whole lot of people are willing to do that. So I can see Disney going, oh, crap, and they're doing the scramble game, right? They're trying to scramble as much as they can, get as much as they can, get all these movies and all these shows out, spit them out as quickly as they can because they are going to be racing and literally doing a race against HBO Max now. Because HBO Max starts doing this on Christmas Day, y'all. That's very soon. I mean, shoot, that's 2 weeks from now, bruh. 2 weeks from now, literally, Wonder Woman drops Christmas Day, and that will be on HBO Max and in the theaters, the dying theaters. So, HBO is starting to make some serious strides. HBO Max is starting to make some serious strides, and I think Disney is trying to do everything they can to get right behind it. There's a lot of shows that they've just been holding on to. Pictures and shows. There's a lot of movies and a lot of shows they've just been sitting on. They haven't put out. You just mentioned the Black Widow movie. Man, they've been promoting that movie for over a year now. Like well over a year. And it hasn't gone anywhere. There's a lot of Marvel movies that are just kind of sitting around and waiting to be pushed out. And hopefully this will get them, hopefully it will get Disney Plus to really get these movies out so that they can get the machine back up and running again,
And it does seem Disney is concerned about the performance of some of their films. It seems like they've had a lot of trouble. Specifically, I'm just mostly talking about MCU here, actually. But they've had some trouble with production, it seems, and not only have they had the issue where there's no unified vision for the next story arc post Endgame, they don't really have an idea for that. But they've had problems keeping production to the quality they've wanted with some of these films, and I think that's the same for Wonder Woman as well. So they're kind of worried that these films are going to underperform because of not just because of COVID restrictions that are happening now, but because of problems that COVID caused during the production of the films that make them apparently lower quality, though who knows? I haven't seen them yet, so I'm just going off of what other people have said.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with low budget. I don't see a problem with it. There's so much that people do on $50. You know what I'm saying? As far as special effects and storytelling and all that. I mean, maybe we get a new Clerks that comes out. You know what I'm saying? A new something that's not super polished and it takes $200 million to make. You know what I'm saying? And everything's just green screens and stuff. I would love to see a movie that's just telling a simple story for once, you know? So I'm okay with them being like, okay, due to COVID, we had to drop down on the price of this. And actually, the entire time for the Wonder Woman movie, she's just riding a horse. So whenever she's riding a horse, just think that she's actually flying through the air. That's it. I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, bet. She's still kicking ass and taking aims, so I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? The horse is cheaper, baby. The horse is cheaper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with that. They did a lot of things back in the day without having $200 million. Shoot. I remember seeing, like, I went and watched the first Spider-Man movie. Not the Sam Raimi movie. I'm talking about the very, very first one. The very, 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 very first one. And there was a lot that, yes, it was cheaply done. It's low budget. It's 70s is all get out. But at the same time, it still served a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It still did the job. The Hulk movie, the Hulk TV show, that was a low budget show. Still got a lot done. So, you know, I understand we're spoiled now. We're hella spoiled. You know, we got some of the best CGI people working on these movies and all that and making these guys look freaking phenomenal. I get that. But at the same time, I mean, shoot, man, if it means, like, I don't want the death of comic book movies. Like, they're really dope. And they have grown. They have gone to a really amazing new stratosphere with storytelling, those comic books and all that, and putting those on the silver screen. But at the same time, I'm like, man, you know, this, like, I would love to see another American Beauty at some point in my life before I die. You know what I'm saying? Like, that people are actually excited about seeing that movie. Not because American Beauty, but it's a movie about a man who shoots, like, snakes out of his hands or something like that. No, like an actual, like, drama. And people are like, man, I can't wait to see that movie. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a damn good story. Not, he shoots laser beams from his eyeballs. Like, and that's dope. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's great popcorn stuff. But what happened to the acting? Haven't you noticed you don't see many now? And I'm not knocking, like, people getting the Oscar for the Joker or you know, for playing sinister roles as a comic book character. I'm not saying that. I mean, it's amazing that those things are even considered in the Academy Awards now. But at the same time, there's no real stories out there where you're like, man, that's good. That's a good story. And no one was shot, or maybe somebody was shot, but, like, you know, it's real life. It's real life scenarios, not, oh, this movie has special effects because this kid is actually an alien. You know, like, F all that. Just a good story. And they don't push that kind of stuff anymore. I feel like more and more TV shows that I watch now have some sort of gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, the person could turn invisible, or you know what I'm saying? And it's like, where are the real stories? Like, so during this time, I feel like this would be the perfect time for filmmakers to be making smaller films that say something, rather than it just being another Superman, Spider-Man, Batman movie. You know what I'm saying? It's an actual story. And then it being streamed on Netflix or any of these streaming sites. I mean, you know, of course, I'm just, I guess, getting on my soapbox and saying some stuff, but that's just what I think. I think it's dope that they're doing things and they're finally getting things moving again. But I feel like they just stopped everything solely because they couldn't do this green screen shot. And it's like, well, forget that. Maybe this is the time that real stories, unique stories, are being told again. You know, a Clerks, or a Kevin Smith type stuff. Whoa. Let me take that back. I'm sorry. Kevin Smith was great at one point, and then he became crappy. But you know what I'm saying? like a Chasing Amy, a Clerks. You know, all the other stuff that ignore all the other Kevin Smith stuff. But small films that tell something really interesting, and they're still entertaining to watch. You know, that's what should be happening right now. Not, oh, we got to stop everything. We can't do anything because of this vid. No, this is the time to tell stories.
Yeah. I mean, the last two movies I can even think of that focused on character and story over special effects is either both The Lighthouse and The Irishman. They're the only ones I can really think of in the past year or so. Everything else has just been either focused on its budget, showing off its budget, or just a rehash of something else we've seen.
Sorry, I'm reading these comments, and I totally agree. Real quick, I just watched, literally like 3 days ago, I watched The Lighthouse. What did you think of that, man?
It's a weird movie. I was definitely interested. I'm not sure that I liked it, but I was like enthralled the whole time. And I really liked, I forgot the guy's name, the older actor of the two.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. He was incredible. I really love that. Yeah. So for the most part, I thought it was a good movie. The cinematography was amazing, and the acting was amazing. I had a few problems with the story, but I'll accept it for all the other great things they did in the movie.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. You know, it was very art housey. You know, just how it was done. It was very well done. The acting was really good. Ending was weird as F. But I understood after I did some research afterwards. I thought it was a very well done piece, but it was no special, like no superhuman powers. There was no, nobody was some genetic, freak of nature or anything of that sort. I thought it was done very, very well. And Debbie just said Willem is creepy as F. Yeah. Willem, but I think he's really talented. You know what I mean? He's really, really talented. He's got that face. You know what I mean? God blessed him with a very unique face, and that's why he is Willem Dafoe, right? That's why he was the Green Goblin, right? Real quick, I just saw T just commented this. Half Baked featured 2 superheroes, or no? LOL. So Blunt Man and the Chronic, right? Blunt Man and the Chronic, right? Blunt Man and the Chronic, yeah. Sorry, it was a deep cut because didn't they do a movie? Didn't they do a movie recently, or didn't he do a movie recently where he was like taking Jay and Silent Bob and adding the Blunt Man and the Chronic in there somehow? I thought he did something just recently. I heard it was trash, but yeah. That's a good question, though. Does it feature 2 superheroes? That's a good question. I think Kevin Smith likes to think that they are.
If you get high enough, you think you have superpowers. That's fine.
Word. You think you're unstoppable, right? You're unstoppable. Yeah. That's funny as hell, though. Half Baked. Oh no! Your time or something like that. I got 2 movies mixed up in my head. Half Baked 2 superheroes. Half Baked.
That's Dave Chappelle.
There we go. I don't know why I think I was thinking Mallrats in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what
I'm sorry. Half Baked 2 superheroes. Who are the superheroes?
Dave Chappelle and his friend, right? We're trying to help their buddy get out of jail.
Right.
He had an issue with the police horse or whatever he did to it. God. He fed it too many brownies and it died, so he got locked up.
Butternuts.
So he had to get enough bail money to save their friend.
Yes, that movie's amazing. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. That was yeah. So you're saying him and the 2 friends, him and his 2 friends. So
it was 3 stoners, right?
Yeah.
And then one got locked up
4
for like. It was 4 of them.
It was
4
4
stoners.
Right,
it was 4. Right. Yeah, it was 4.
So one of them got locked up. He's like, I'm somebody's bitch. The squirrel, the squirrel guy. But yeah, he I'm somebody's bitch. But he it was him and his two other friends. So it was three guys all together that were like, basically they were like Batman in a way, but with weed. You know what I'm saying? Like they were doing everything they could to save their friend, but then they started making serious money off of selling that herb.
Right.
There we go. Mr. Smiley, right? Something like that?
Yeah. Yes. You had Thurgood Jenkins. It was Dave Chappelle. Scarface, Brian, and Kenny.
Yes. There we go. And Kenny's the one who got arrested and thrown in prison. Yeah. Because he's like, oh, you're a hungry little fella.
Yeah, right.
He's a diabetic.
right.
Butternuts. It's Buttercup. Oh God, I love that movie. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. Nostalgia like a mug. Butternuts. Yeah, I guess it was I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, why not? That works for me. But anyway, okay, guys, that wraps up the show. But I appreciate everybody coming on and talking, being a part of the chat. T, David, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Where you just, I love how he's all smooth and stuff. Whatever he said off camera, he's like, sit down. Anytime, babe. Sit down. Yeah, baby. I got you, man. Real smooth, baby. Real smooth. Anyway.
No, take notes, right?
Wait a second. What did you say?
Take notes, okay?
I'm taking notes, baby. I'm taking notes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Where's my sandwich? Yeah, man.
I'm alive.
Shut up.
Going on, girl.
Yeah, man. My thoughts exactly, babe. Anyway, guys, that wraps up the show. I appreciate all y'all for being on today, being a part of the conversation. Fam, love all y'all. I'm sure there's going to be another pop-up video today or at some point this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. And if you haven't done it yet, share as much as you can. I'd really, really appreciate it. Trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. We are quickly closing 14,000, which is dope as hell. So we only got 11,000 left. No big deal. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? But we are going to take over the world, one subscriber at a time. So I'll see you guys here soon. I might do a night show, maybe not. I'm on the fence, but if I do, I'll put it down in the community page to let you guys know when I go live. All right? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a fantastic and safe weekend if I don't see you guys until Monday. All right? All right. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You love peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and
Yeah,
all that.
no, I
So
don't
what are
blame
you
them.
guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform
I'm sorry,
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this
No, it's
man
not
is
boring.
too exciting.